That kiss, the softest kiss you can even imagine. Not even on the lips. Joanna. You get one like that, and you're liable to spend the rest of your life trying to find another one like it, and to no avail. Spoiler alert, she didn't come back from the States. I know in the movie they made of it, everything gets sorted out with happy endings and all, but her mom was only in England for a short teaching span, and then the family went back to the States, and that was it. Probably for the best. Probably would have gone downhill from there if she had come back, judging from how things have gone for the rest of my life. I'm not complaining. I've had a good life, no regrets. And I did get that kiss. I'm actually glad it ended with that, because it became all by itself an apex in my life. It set a standard, gave me a vision of what love could be. Total ecstasy, as opposed to the total agony that led up to it. And because I did work hard for that one kiss. In fact, I've often wondered since then, through the experience of working hard for other kisses, if the amount of work that goes into getting one of those is directly proportionate to the quality of the kiss you get. But then again, there have been times when it was all about the chase. And once the prey was bagged, the kiss itself turned out to be a bit of a letdown. I will say this, the whole episode did set me on a path that I have traveled diligently and with great love and devotion for the rest of my life. I did become a musician. Like that sign I taped to my bedroom door way back then, rhythm is my life. The drums got me started, but then working with bassists, I realized that they carry the beat as well, so I took up the bass, and that led to the guitar, and then I started writing songs, and it was easier to do that on the piano, so there you go. And once you get on a path like that, you're inevitably going to find others traveling that same road, and you hook up with them, and you form a band, and that band leads to another band, and then studio gigs and recording sessions, and pretty soon you've got a career. And I was right about one thing. Way back then, when I saw Billy Mack on TV, playing guitar and singing, and all those ladies dancing around him, women do love a musician. And I was fairly good looking when I was young, and oh yeah, they threw themselves at me. And there's a whole lot of gratification in that. It makes you feel pretty good about yourself. And there were sometimes when I was riding the top of a wave after a great show, or times when I was feeling lonely on the road, that I would succumb to their advances. But there was always a letdown after one of those encounters. And you know what that's all about? I'll tell you. It's about the difference between love and sex. See, when I fell in love with Joanna, it was before my hormones started raging. That love was pure love. I mean, she had the same name as my mom, and I didn't find that at all off-putting. It seemed to make perfect sense. That was elementary school. That was elementary love. Basic, straightforward, uncomplicated. Come middle school, when the hormones kicked in, kissing became a means to an end, or at least a means to second base. I remember when I first heard about French kissing. I found it hard to believe. Mouths open, tongues involved. But then Sherry Anderson, blonde, willowy, taller than me, told me that if I came to this party one night, she'd show me how. Oh, I went to the party, and I followed her around all night, until finally she turned around, looked down at me, and said, "Open your mouth just a little bit." And I did, and she laid one on me. I nearly swooned. But see, it wasn't the kiss. It was what the kiss promised. Wetness, juiciness, entwining body parts. A promise that wouldn't be fulfilled till the end of high school. There was one girl, though, I had a crush on in middle school. Her name was Cheryl. She had a boyfriend named Skip who was in high school, so I could only worship her from afar. But then I heard that they'd broken up, and I went to comfort her for 3 days. Cheryl and I wrapped ourselves up in each other. We'd sit and cuddle, but we never kissed. And then she went back to Skip, and, I still cherish the purity of those 3 days. Come high school, I got me a girlfriend named Cynthia. She was smart, but she also was voluptuous, and that, more than her brains, is probably what drew me to her. All my buddies were getting shagged by then, or at least saying they were, and so I started putting a lot of pressure on Cynthia. All we were doing was kissing and petting. And when she finally gave in, it turned out that she liked it more than I did. And then I did start doing it just for her. And then she got pregnant, and we had to tell her parents, and they made her have an abortion, and that was the end of that. I said before, I had no regrets. I have that one. After high school is when my actual career as a musician began, and there were meaningless encounters aplenty. But I did fall in love again when I was 21 at a party. A bunch of us were sitting around doing impersonations of crazy things. My mate Jerry, a Scottish bloke, did his impersonation of bacon frying. And then this tall brunette got up and did an impersonation of a butterfly emerging from her chrysalis. I was gobsmacked. 6 months later, we were married. I was an imposing-looking musician with long hair and a beard at the time, and one morning, some months after we got married, we dropped acid together, and I shaved my beard and mustache off, and she looked at me and said, "That's not what I meant at all." And that was the end of that. I got married 2 more times after that. I think mostly I got married to keep from having meaningless relationships and one-night stands. But then, when I was in my mid-30s, at a birthday party for a friend, there was a string quartet, and there was this woman playing the cello. I couldn't believe that one person could be that beautiful and that talented all at the same time. I asked the birthday boy who she was, and he told me her name, but I didn't introduce myself. My 3rd marriage was just ending at the time, and it was too soon. But I started finding out when and where she would be playing, and for the next 5 years, I would just go. After 3 failed marriages, you see, I'd finally figured out that I was better at worshiping from afar than at being in an actual relationship. Until after one of her concerts that I'd gone to with some mutual friends of hers and mine, I finally went up to her and told her that I had, after the show, and told her that I had been a big fan for a long time. The bunch of us went out to a bar afterwards, and I bought her a beer and chips, and we started to talk, and little by little I realized that as beautiful and talented as she was, all of that was just a reflection of her soul. And over the next few months, our souls bonded. And we got married on a cliff over the ocean up in Scotland. And here's the thing. On the day we got married, I had a cold sore on my lip. So when the minister said, "You may kiss the bride," I couldn't. And I was just standing there. And she takes my face in her hands. And with the softest lips I'd ever felt, she placed a kiss on every other inch of my face. that kiss. Not even on the lips.